Hey everyone out there, this is Evan from Shock Collar Records, based in Williams Lake, BC, Canada, a DIY punk label, and we do creative works and whatnot. And today's show, I have my co-host here, Matt Granlund from Stranded, the Australian Canadian music show that he started at CITR in East Vancouver at the campus radio station. He now lives up in the Cariboo region as well. And today we have a very special guest. He's actually one of my favorite punk rock writers, lyricists, and singers. Lo and behold, this is Jeff Pezzati of Naked Raygun and The Bomb. Been waiting a long time to do this podcast with him, and so here we go. Thanks for being here today, Jeff.
Sure, glad to be here.
And hi, Jeff. My name's Matt, and I'm actually quite a new fan. I'm a punk rock enthusiast, but from Australia, and I've been really enjoying getting to know your music. My first question, actually, Evan and I are both Italian roots, and I know you have Italian roots as well. So I figured I'd ask, are you connected well to your Italian heritage?
Well, all of my grandparents were born in Italy, and I knew them very well, all four of my grandparents, but I never actually been to Italy. But I did join the 23andMe program for kind of like Ancestry.com, you know. And I thought I was more Italian than I actually was. It turned out I'm only 34% Italian, which I don't understand because my family's lived there for like 500 years. But I guess it's not good enough. But apparently I'm more French. I'm more Italian than anything, like 34%, but 33% of me is French and German too. So it just depends on how far you want to go back, I guess.
Yeah. And what about in Chicago itself? Is there a large Italian population there?
There used to be. They've all kind of moved to the suburbs now, but there was a little Italy part of town, but one of the mayor dailies decided to plunk University of Illinois right in the middle of it, so he kind of destroyed it on purpose a long time ago, like in the 50s or something. But there's a lot of Italians still live here.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah. So, Jeff, you have a raccoon rescue with your partner there in the Pezzati rescue, right? And today you had a pickup, I guess. So how was today?
My fiancée and I run a raccoon rescue mostly, and squirrels. She does most of the work, though. I just kind of build structures and things. She does all the day-to-day handling of the animals, though. And she's a really good person. She's very, very devout to it and does a good job. But today we picked up another enclosure for. We're going to put we have right now we have one bunny, one possum, and one really sick raccoon, and then we have also 6 or 7 outside raccoons that overwintered because they're having a tough time. They were born a little late, and they were kind of small to release in the fall, so we kept them over the winter, and now they're about to be released any day now. Looking forward to that.
Cool. Man, that's good dedication, and that's too bad about the sick one.
Last year she actually moved 70 different animals through here.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane. Can't imagine, man. That's great, though, that you're, doing it for a good cause.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool, smart animals. They're super smart. They're really cool.
How long have you been doing that for, Jeff, and how did it get started?
Somebody just brought over a raccoon one day about 4 years ago, and so Kristen took care of it. And since then, we've taken in a couple cats, and we kept the cats, but she releases all the raccoons as soon as she can, you know. They give them, their mother either deserts them or people find them in their attic and they lock out the mother or something, and all sorts of situations that you can't imagine. But they get hit by a car or something and they need rehabilitation. But it's pretty interesting. Really awesome animals.
Oh, wow. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Cool, yeah. And, to move it to Raygun, so it's the first album in 31 years. It's going to get released this spring on Wax Tracks Records. Being a huge fan myself and hearing a couple of the teaser tracks you sent me, I'm pretty stoked to hear it, Jeff. And just wondering how that all came about, and because you've been working on it quite a bit lately. And
yeah, it's all finished. It's done for a long time, but it's a long time to get out there. We really futzed around with it, and just over the years have added to it, and we finally got it concrete. We didn't know whether to release it ourselves or have someone do it. We finally found out Wax Tracks Records is really interested, which is really cool because they're good people and they've been around for years. And the daughter Julia runs it now. Her dad used to run it, Jim Nash. My sister actually worked for the label for a long time under Jim Nash's rule, but she was the only employee there for years. But Julia revived it, and she's doing a good job at it. So we decided to sign with her, and couldn't be happier.
Oh, that's awesome. Pretty stoked for you, and stoked to get the new album and the complete, because you sent me a couple of songs, Amishes, and Amishes. How did that song come about? And And by the way, where did you record the record anyways, like in the studio, and what was the process like?
We recorded at a studio in Chicago called Transient Sound. I actually designed the heating and air conditioning for it on my other end of my business I used to have. I sold my business a long time ago, but I used to run a heating and air conditioning company. I was pretty good at design and stuff. I designed their heating and air conditioning. It's super quiet for a studio. It's pretty cool. I got to do that. But anyway, we recorded there with a guy named Steve Gillis, and he actually had it mastered. He's an awesome guy. He used to play drums for the band called Filter. They had that song, Hey Man, Nice Shot.
Oh, I remember that band,
song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he recorded, he has a golden record with them, and he's a super guy. He recorded us and really got into us, so he really made us sound actually better than we actually are, which is pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
But he was really into it, and he went to the mastering session in Nashville, Tennessee. A guy moved down there from New York City. He actually mastered the Hotel California album.
Wow, very different genre.
I know, but it's really weird that he would do us, but I guess they do anything that crosses their path. But he did that, and you couldn't be happier with the mix. It's really hot. It's really, really smoking mix.
Yeah, it sounds great too, and I really like the new tracks that I've heard so far. Especially the music video one, "Living in the Good Times," which I actually participated in submitting a video from the fans. It's
a cool video. Yeah. People could be on it. We address our fans. We sent them all the notices they could be on it. They wanted to be on it, and they sent their videos back, and we kind of mouthed the lyrics to the choruses, and they're singing on the choruses.
Cool. And the song "Amishes" is off the new record, and I was just wondering how this song came about. It's got great lyrics, and I guess we can play this one as a teaser for your new record coming out.
Yeah, that'd be good. Play that. I don't know. I just thought sometimes the lyrics just fit with the music I'm playing, and I just said the word Amishes. I just said the word cartridges, and I needed something to rhyme with cartridges off the first line. I just picked Amishes. Thought it was funny, and plus I can't complain about it. Everything's so PC in the United States right now. It's fucking ridiculous. But I figured Amishes couldn't complain about it because they don't have any electricity. So
yeah, they won't have the internet to actually hear it.
I'm not ramming on the Amishes. It's supposed to be more of a joke, more of a fun song. But I don't know. It's fun. They hope that nobody takes it too seriously and they notice out a joint by it. But everybody got to fucking relax out there, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Just love the music and don't take things too seriously, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you could read something into the Beach Boys songs too, if you look hard enough.
Oh yeah. True that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here's Amishes off the new record.
I got a gun, but I've got no cartridges. No cartridges, and no one to shoot. And I'm sick of living like the Amishes. But I must admit, the girls look really cool.
Amishes anyway. You don't plural of Amishes is Amish. Plural of Amish is Amish. So it's funny to say Amishes. It's totally incorrect, you know.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Also,
It's funny.
What is the name of the new album? Do you have a title for it yet?
Yeah, it's called Over the Overlords.
Over the
Supposed to be like
Overlords.
It's not being over them and over them physically. It's being done with the overlords. Like we're done with the overlords. Like over the overlords.
Oh, okay, cool. I like it.
Very cool.
Pretty strong name, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you need a strong title. It's been 31 years, you know. And I've only been on this earth for 31 years, so I'm like, whoa, okay, yeah. It's pretty mind blowing for me, at least.
Yeah, we really took our sweet ass time doing that, didn't we?
Yeah, totally.
And actually, speaking of going back in time, I'm curious, Jeff. The original punk and post-punk era, of course, New York and LA is well documented. The scenes there. I wonder if you're able to describe how different the Chicago scene was at the time when you were coming up.
Well, Chicago kind of started behind the times. We were a little late with starting with live bands. Mostly started with discotheques, you know, playing punk music. And I went to a bunch of those and got influenced by that. Like they'd always play the Buzzcocks, and I'd always run up to the DJ and say, "Who's this song by?" And they'd always say, "It's the Buzzcocks." It seemed to always be the Buzzcocks for me, but that's why we kind of sound like them, I think. We liked Wire, and we liked Stranglers, and we liked a lot of those bands like that in that era, the second wave maybe. But I think that's why we kind of sound sort of poppy and same kind of chorus as like
the big woes.
But Chicago scene was very slow to take off in bands. We started out a very small scene, you know, you knew all the names and stuff. I grew from there. Got to be a huge thing after a while.
And I guess sort of less media attention at the time, but maybe, you know, friends really supporting each other and getting it done, hey?
Yeah, you kind of had to. It was Minneapolis bands like Who's Who went to the West Coast and became famous and signed to Warner Brothers eventually. But Chicago bands that got signed were like Liz Phair and this Billy Corgan's band is who's his band again?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, they kind of got signed after everybody turned their heads to Chicago and looked at the bands that they wanted to sign. They signed those bands. We were sort of out of the picture by then. We sort of retired by then. But we cranked it back up about 10 years later.
Yeah, and so I guess Naked Raygun, after you guys did your final few releases before your almost like 15-year or so hiatus, I'm just wondering like how that happened and like what, I mean, I know that you started The Bomb, which is a great band as well. I love The Bomb. And so in between then, like, I mean, what was kind of the lead up to your breakup or the hiatus, and then you got back together? So obviously you guys remained friends, but John Haggerty actually became the guitar player of Pegboy, who's also from Chicago. So I was just kind of wondering what your thoughts or any of the history behind that, if whatever you want to say about that.
Yeah, John left before the last album was out. He left after Understand was recorded. He left the band and started Pegboy right away, and he was kind of disappointed that we didn't ask him to join back in when we got back together. But we had Pierre Kesey, who was playing in Pegboy and Naked Raygun at the same time. He since passed away, but he wrote some great songs for both bands. I don't know if you remember any Pegboy songs. He wrote some great songs for Naked Raygun. He wrote Treason, and he wrote Home, and he wrote let's see, right? He wrote some other big hits too. I can't recall right now, but he's a great guy. He passed away. We really miss him. But we broke up basically because we were going to have kids. We all had kids. I had 2 children. They're 25 and 28 now already. But and then Eric had 4 kids, and Pierre had 4 kids also. Really
sorry about the loss too again. And yeah, I mean, you guys must have been through a lot.
Yeah, so we got back together because I think Mike from Riot Fest really got us back together. He likes to put together bands and have them at Riot Fest, so he offered us an awful lot of money to get back together. So we got it back together and played a couple shows at Riot Fest, some pre-show shows, you know, and then we played some after-party shows as well. It was a good time for a couple of years there.
Good deal.
Really playing in front of some huge crowds there.
Yeah, I saw some of the live footage. You know, that looked like a pretty good time. It's awesome that you guys got back together, and I'm super stoked for you and stoked that you're putting out this album and still carrying on after all these years. It's pretty amazing. You know, that shows.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's awesome.
And this guy from Canada named Evan called me and played guitar for me and sang a song.
Yeah.
When I first sang that song for me on the guitar, I thought that was the ballsiest thing I've ever seen, man. It was so crazy. I got off the phone and said, "Hey, babe." I said to Kristen, "Hey, babe, this guy just sang a whole song to me, one of my songs that I wrote myself." She said, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "No."
I did, dude. That was fun. I felt like I had to, man. Like, yeah, because being a musician and a punk rock kind of band guy myself, yeah, it's like that energy goes into me. I give it back, you know. I love your music.
Yeah, it's so right attitude of punk rock, by the way, Evan. You, like I told you this before, but you just get out there and fucking do it, man. And that's what it's all about. Just getting out there and doing it.
Yeah.
Whether you're any good or not, and you have that wonderful attitude of doing that. You know, it's really admirable.
Man, that means the world coming from you, Jeff. Man, like, yeah, and that's what I want to do. Yeah, it's just go out there and do it. You know, like there's no boundaries really. You know, like, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Like one time, my brother and I watched this video about bands from Ireland. They had on like the Undertones and the other bands. And they had this one guy who just got up there and just blasted out music all by himself in front of this wall, you know, just singing really shitty, and he's just singing as good as he could, though. And I got done with the film, and I said, "Isn't that guy really sucked that last guy?" My brother said to me, "No, that guy's a brilliant guy. You know, he's this guy who actually he's what punk rock's all about." And so it changed my mind completely about punk rock. My brother was a big influence on me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's what it's all about for sure. Yeah, and it's cool. It's like it never ends too, and it's like it is a tight knit community, and like it's cool because like punks, you know, like the DIY scene and everything. It's like we all kind of have each other and support each other, and no matter what, no one's like a stuck up rock star really or whatever. Because you know, it's like everyone just like you know helps each other. I always thought about Chicago area. I always thought if we can embed the punk rock mind thought into the suburbicans of Chicago, the suburbia, you know, it'll never die ever, because someday 20 years from now you see some goth kid walking down the street, you know. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. That's totally.
It'll never die. We'll never die.
Speaking of the punk rock spirit, Jeff, I am curious. Do you know any Australian punk bands? I'm going back. I should say.
Yeah, dude. I was really into the Line Spiders.
Oh yeah.
Recently, I've been into this band. I can't recall their name. They're really aggressive, though. They're I think it's the name starts with the S, maybe. There's some band called two names, like something Richards. Something Richards. Stiff Richards.
Oh, okay.
You like them?
I'm not familiar with them, but if it comes recommended from you, I'm going to check them out.
Yes, they're called Stiff Richards. They're fucking great.
Okay. My Chicago experience, when I traveled through their backpacking, I got to see the Hard-Ons play at the Beat Kitchen in 2006. They're a legendary Australian band. Have you ever checked them out, the Hard-Ons?
No, I never heard of them either. No, they played the Beat Kitchen. I should have been there.
Yeah, 2006. I couldn't believe it. The stars aligned. I think you'd really appreciate them. They're like Australian legends, and as far as the punk rock spirit, they are about there's absolutely the essence of it coming from Australia. So there's my recommendation.
You say you saw them in 2006?
Yeah, 2006 at the Beat Kitchen.
Well, they're owned by a different owner then. They had really good tortilla soup there that day.
Ah, okay.
That year.
Okay.
Really excellent food there. I used to go all the time and eat there.
Oh, excellent. Well, we got to drag Evan to Chicago one day. I found the city absolutely enthralling. Actually, this is a little bit from left field. I don't know do you happen to have any Steve Albini stories from back in the day that you spent a lot of time with him, like anything, because he has a reputation of being a little cantankerous, but he's probably got a couple of different sides to him.
He's got a lot of different sides to him. If he's in front of just one person, just talking to him one-on-one, he's a decent guy. But if he's in front of like 10 people, he can be a real dick for some reason. I don't know. He gets it becomes like he's on stage or something. But I always liked Steve. I've known Steve for a very long time. I played in Big Black when it first started as a band. You know, he had a 4-song EP out before I was in the band, but he put that out himself. And then I was on the first 2 EPs and the single to follow, 7 single to follow that, called Big Money on one side, and I think El Duce was on the other side. I played on those 2 songs, and that's the last thing I did. We played a tour all the way to the East Coast, and our last show was a place called The Channel, and Meat Puppets were headlining, and this asshole came out from The Channel, and he came to our van and said, "Okay, the Meat Puppets are getting half their pay, and we're not paying you fucking guys at all. So if you want to play, play. If you don't want to play, get out of here." Oh. We said, "Fuck you." We said, "Fuck you." We took off.
Oh, well, that's the only thing you could have done.
Channel in Boston, what a bunch of pricks. Then later on, Naked Raygun played their sold out crowd with Henry Rollins on the bill too, and that was, I think that the guy was gone by then, but anyway, It's my story about this channel. But I have a lot of Albini stories. One day, this guy from Strike Under, who Pierre was in his band with, a band called Strike Under, they were around when Naked Raygun first started too. They have a great single out, a great EP out if you can't catch it. Really brilliant songwriting, but really advanced songwriting, like really like choruses and bridges and stuff. Like Naked Raygun just had like a bunch of screaming going on at that time, you know. But they actually had songs, and Pierre was in that band, and the lead singer from that band was kind of known to be kind of a drunk and kind of a reckless guy. Well, in front of Wax Trax Records, which is on Lincoln Avenue in Chicago, he picked up Steve. He saw Steve Albini. He picked him up, and he was going to pretend like to body slam him, but he actually did. He stumbled and fell and did body slam him, and then ran into Albini's head, and with all his weight, and almost crushed his fucking skull.
Oh.
But Steve got up and took it like a real man. I don't know. I thought he should go to the hospital, but he didn't. But anyway, Steve really apologized. Steve Bjorklund, the guy who landed on him, really apologized. Bjorklund's brother, Chris Bjorklund, played guitar for Strike Under too. But I have a lot of Albini stories, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Albini has all the cool microphones. I said, how do you get these cool microphones for your studio? He said, they find me. I designed a heating air conditioning for his studio too. I designed I had installed too. All the heating and air conditioning for his studio, I designed too. It's really fucking quiet.
Oh.
But his studio is made out of the walls are made out of adobe brick. Get it all shipped in from New Mexico, and it's like it has the sound absorbent quality. It's really incredible because it's earth, you know, and it's like just sun dried earth, and it's stacked on top of one another like bricks, and all those walls in the studio are made out of that. It's really fascinating, but quite a building he built in and lived in there.
Wow.
The other thing about Albini is he only will deal with the band if he can talk to the band himself. He won't deal with any managers or anything. He insists on talking to like Iggy Pop himself, and he recorded Led Zeppelin, so he insists on talking to Robert Plant and Jimmy Page himself. He won't deal with anybody but the band. So he doesn't want to be fucked around by any management, you know. And he wants his money up front. And he just charges one flat fee. Like when he recorded the Nirvana album, he just got one flat fee for that. If he got percentages on that, he'd be a multi-millionaire. But he just wanted one fee. Kind of righteous dude in that.
That's integrity.
Give anybody the tour if you go to his studio. He's really good about it. Look at this whole tour. He has a kick-ass set, and it's a kick-ass collection of microphones, though. He has so many microphones, can't believe it. I sang in his studio through a pre-Nazi German microphone.
Whoa. How did that come about? Where did that...
Like, it's a microphone from like 1932 or something, you know?
What album is that? Like, I gotta hear that song. Let's get that song up on this.
That's all on...
What's the song called?
I don't know. What did he record for me? He recorded half the first Bomb album.
Oh, no way. Oh, and that's with that microphone? The first album?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Jeanie, come out tonight. Tell her it'll be alright. Can Jeanie come out tonight? With her I feel alive. She makes my heart alive. She makes me feel alright. When Jeanie comes out tonight, there'll be no end this time.
Cool. You can look really careful at the lyric sheet in that, and at the cover, you can tell which songs he did.
Oh, okay. And I was actually going to bring that up because I, you know, obviously you've been in many different studios, but I remember chatting to you before about the record Indecision by The Bomb and how it was produced by the guy in Nashville, right? And like it was a special kind of studio set up for that one, or you showed the song
Could Jeanie come up with that?
Hardly Shed a Tear, and you showed that to someone, and they really, really liked it. And I was just wondering about the recording of Indecision and
Indecision was recorded by Jay Robbins.
Oh, okay, Jay Robbins. Was it in Nashville, or was it mastered by someone in Nashville or some big studio or something?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think who mastered it, but Jay Robbins recorded it in I think in Baltimore. We recorded that one where he lives at his studio maybe, and he flew out to do the next one though. He flew out to do what's it called? One of the guys on the train. Something about speed. The name of the record is
Speed is Everything.
Speed is Everything. Yeah, Speed is Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry. I forgot to name my own album, but
pretty helpful.
He flew out to do Speed is Everything, and he recorded the album you're talking about, Indecision, at his studio in Boston. But he's a great guy. He was in Government Issue, then he was in Burning Airlines, and he's a bunch of bands after that, you know. But he's really talented.
That's awesome. And just off the top of your head, what would be your favorite song off the album Indecision by The Bomb?
I have to say the song Indecision is the best.
Yeah.
Is the Song for the Helenas on there?
I think that's on 2 of the other albums.
Song for the Helenas is one of the best songs written and that we ever wrote. Pete wrote that, but the song Indecision is brilliant too. Jeff Jeanie really cranked on guitar in that. Up From the Floor is pretty good too. I like Up From the Floor.
Yeah, the first song on that album. Yeah, that's a great one. Gets you.
Funny, when we wrote that, the drummer, they played it. I don't like when the music is written before the lyrics, you know, or before the song melody. I don't really consider it a song until you get a melody. But Jeff Jeanie would always come to practice with all these chords, and he played all these chords. Jeff Jeanie's a really talented guy, but he just laid down these chords, and I would have to try to think of some fucking melody after he already played the chords. You know, it's very difficult for me to do. So we must have played Up From the Floor about 25 times. And one night after practice, the drummer said, I hate this fucking song. This is the worst song we have. And then the next time he played it through, I sang it, and then he said, put down the sticks, and he said, "Now it's the best song I've ever had." It's a funny story.
Awesome. So you brought the life to it. And on that note, let's throw that song on. This is The Bomb. Let's put on Up From the Floor off Indecision.
It's a rockin' song.
Stop
Okay, so we're back here with Jeff Pezzati, and I'm wondering about the recording of your debut solo EP, which just came out, I guess, just in this last year. Was this a long-term goal for you, Jeff, or was it more of a pandemic project that sort of materialized when you had a lot of time around the house?
I had the songs for a long time. Actually, had all of them for a long time. They recorded some of them recorded a long time ago. Some of them I had to re-record because I didn't have good versions of them. But I kind of just wanted to put out something myself, just to get it out there. I had these songs sitting around. They didn't really fit any band I was in, so I had to get it out there. I just put it out. I have another 6 songs that are going to come out later to a second EP. Then I'm going to put them together as one album eventually. Sell that. But I got six other really good songs too.
Oh, fantastic! Is there any other songs off the EP you'd like us to play today?
Well, I can play Make Me Whole. That'd be great. That's my big hit.
I love how that song's so dynamic, by the way, and you do everything in it, right? Like the piano and like everything you hear.
Yeah, I played everything. The drum machine, played all the stuff on my wonderful Korg synthesizer, all the strings and everything. And couldn't say enough about that Korg machine. It makes it sound really good. But the piano's a real piano. It was my mom's baby grand piano. I mic'd it up and just recorded it all myself. But I only sang it through a couple times. I'm actually kind of off key in that song quite a bit, and plus the acoustic guitar in the beginning is way out of whack. It's way out of tune, so it could have been more perfect, but it is what it is. I kind of like the mix.
Till the break of day.
pretty amazing song. And
it was never mastered either. Never got mastered or anything. So it sounds pretty good even not being mastered.
Yeah, totally. I mean, as long as it's like loud enough. I mean, as long as you can crank it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it's just called Pezzati, right?
Pezzati, yeah. It's just called Pezzati.
And it's on Spotify, iTunes, and Bandcamp as well. So. Yeah,
it's on Amazon Prime too. You have to say, Alexa, play me music by Jeffrey Neil Pezzati or something like that. It's really hard to get on there.
Yeah, so if you have an Alexa out there, just say, Alexa, play Jeff Pezzati. See what happens.
Yeah, you got to kind of search for it. You got to name, and then you have to have the full package too. You can't just have the one package. You have to have all the music options they sell. You have to have the big full audio package by them.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I myself don't have Alexa, but I've hung out with a couple different Alexas before.
Yeah, Kristen and I make playlists on there. We just say Alexa, play my playlist. It's really great. She just goes through she play like anything you put on there. She put Peg Boy into Naked Raygun into Husker Du into Minor Threat. It's really great. You have into Morrissey into Front 242 into Tears for Fears into whatever you tell her to play, she'll just play it. Make a playlist out of it. It's really great. I love that Alexa thing. I have her turning on the lights in our living room, and she can make them any color you want to it. And Alexa, make all the lights purple, and they just go purple in 1 second.
Whoa.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
I got
technology.
Special light bulbs at Home Depot. They cost like $17 for 2 of them. It's really great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard of those. I that's something I want to get eventually.
Yeah, they're funny. Because you make all your lights pink or something. It's really funny.
We kind of make them go with the music and stuff like that, or blend. Is one of those.
We do that like late at night when we watch TV, and then eventually it gets too late out. We want to put on something a little darker in the room, so we put on some blue light or something. It's cool. Yeah,
totally. That's a good mood for a dark room too.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I guess. Is there any plans for the new album? You said you did a live shot for Vans.
We did 8 songs at a Vans venue that's called the Vans Center or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it's called Vans Center or something like that. But it's a big place. It holds about 1,000 people, and it has a good big stage in it. But they only let like 10 people in it now because of COVID. They're controlled by fans in California, and California's really freaked out about any of their people getting COVID or any of their people coming in getting COVID. So they only let 10 people in at a time. There's only going to be 5 crew and 5 band members, but eventually they let a few more people in than that. And they don't let any crowd in though. There's no crowd there, but I think they're going to present it like there's a crowd there or something. They're going to pretend like it's live or something. It'd be pretty cool. We played 8 songs, and I sang them really crappy because I hadn't sang very much lately. And this guy Dan Walensky, who played guitar with us on 3 of the songs at that session, he played it because we need 2 guitars, and for Peacemaker, and 2 guitars for Treason, and 2 guitars for Living in the Good Times. He played guitar in those 3 songs, and he also mixes. He's a good engineer, and he took the songs and saved my ass because I really sang him pretty crappy, and he made him sound really good.
Oh yeah, he did some tweaking.
Yeah, he auto-tuned me, he pulled me out of the mix and auto-tuned me, and then he doubled it a little bit, put a little slap on it. It sounds really good. It sounds much better than I sang it because I'm a little out of shape with singing because I haven't played for a year and a half, and we had 5 practices, and I couldn't quite get it by then, but I messed up some of the lyrics in one of the songs, but that's okay.
Well, it's always good to knock the rust off with the band, and that's awesome. So is that supposed to be kind of it's like a video audio live stream, or obviously not live, but just like a video thing that's going to come out in the near future?
Yeah, I think it's on the 11th of March actually. I think they're going to show it on Vans.com on the 11th of March is what they're telling me. But
okay. Cool.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it advertised yet at all, so that's kind of weird.
Oh, so they're probably still editing it or something?
Yeah, I saw Rough Draft. The Rough Draft looks pretty good.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that'll be good to see. It's good that you guys are taking all this action on stuff. It's really too bad about the COVID, how, it's crazy to think there's no shows allowed. Me, myself being a performer and show promoter, it's crazy because sometimes I'll start getting in that downside, I can't do this. But then I'm like, wait a minute, every single band in the world is not really allowed to do what we did before, COVID hit. Yeah, but how are you guys kind of going through that yourselves? Yeah,
you can't go anywhere really. It's a bummer. They really locked down. They're kind of letting loose with some of the restrictions now, but still pretty clamped down here. A lot of things you can't do,
Yeah, no doubt. I wonder how different it is down there, because you're actually in a rural kind of area outside of an hour and a half or so outside of Chicago now, right?
I am in a little farm town called Amboy. It's about 2,500 people. I really think there's less than that, though. It seems like it sounds really small. We don't have much of a downtown area at all. We just have like 4 bars and City Hall and a little police station. The police don't even work on weekends here. We rely on the county police. There's police that's on weekends.
Oh, wow.
Funny, they can only pay for 5 days of cops being in this town.
It sounds like a pretty slow-paced, kind of relaxed area, though. At least you can, you have your house there and a yard where you can kind of sanction these raccoons and animals. So I mean, it sounds like a pretty awesome place to settle. So that's
our house is really neglected for a long time, so it needs a lot of love. So all I do is fix it up. All I do is fix it up every day, and Kristen helps out as much as she can, but she's busy with the animals usually.
Yeah, like where do the animals go after they're done with there? Do they go back into the wild, or are they?
She has a friend who has a big place to release them on. She's allowed to release them on this guy's land, this farmer's land, who owns a lot of woods in this one area.
Oh, okay.
They call it the what do they call it? The forest? They call it the something. They have a good name for it. I can't remember. They call it this something. It's all this forest and streams through it, and a good place for raccoons to live. So we usually release them there, and they kind of look around at first and wonder what the fuck's going on when we first release them, and they realize it's free, and they immediately.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how much they adapt to their surroundings in 1 second, man.
Whoa.
They start climbing trees and going in streams and catching little minnows and stuff immediately. It's so crazy how their instinct is.
That's so cool. Set free, like
it's very, very satisfying. Very satisfying to see them do that. And if they can't handle it, they'll come back to you and they'll tell you they can't handle it. It's cool. One raccoon came back to this girl Jane. It came right back to her, and she took it back to her place because it couldn't handle the outdoors. And it was really sweet.
Yeah, that's seriously amazing, man, and I'm glad you're doing that. That's pretty punk rock itself, and
I guess I had one more question. I'm really new to your music, and I say to Evan, I don't understand why I love punk music so much. I've really loved listening to your stuff, and if there's one song, this may be a bit hard, but I guess of the Naked Raygun catalog that you'd recommend me really listen to that you're super proud of. I'm sure there's many, but can you think of one off the top of your head for whatever reason today?
I picked the song Treason.
Oh yeah,
that's a good song.
Brilliant song that Evan's played on guitar.
It's a really good song. It's Pierre wrote it, and it's just spells out his life at the time and how he felt so strongly about being true to yourself and not giving in to the shit around you. And it's a really good song. It's well written and well thought out, and it's got a good hook to it too.
It sure does. I listened to it before our interview. It was an amazing track. So yeah, any other new listeners out there, check out that song Treason by Naked Raygun.
Well, let's maybe throw that one on. Treason would be a great song to end this whole thing on.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be good. It'd be really good. Yeah.
I've always kind of been curious of this, anyways. But what was the recording experience of Jettison like compared to Understand?
They're both done by the same guy, right? Both of them by Larry Sturm.
Okay.
I think maybe not. Who did them? Ian Burgess, the English guy, did living in Chicago, did All Rise, and he did Throb first and All Rise.
Okay.
And then next we went on Caroline Records, and he did Jettison and he did Understand. And then the guy named Fluffy Arbach did Naked Raygun, which I think is the worst sounding mix of all 5, which is the one we spent the most money on, of course. But yeah, I think that he never got Bill's guitar sound down. The album is really weak on guitar, and it's kind of not EQ'd really weird, that album. But Understand and Jettison recorded by the same guy in the same studio, so I think that the recording session is pretty much the same. From Ian Burgess to Larry Sturm is a big difference. So Ian Burgess never paid much attention to the background vocals. He sort of whipped them in there at the last minute,
Oh yeah.
And he never got really good bass sound either, I don't think. But Larry Sturm got wonderful sounds, and I think Jettison and Understand records in the first 2, but the first 2 have better songs, maybe.
Okay, yeah, and I was actually always curious about Jettison too. About was it recorded because back then was it on reel-to-reel tape?
Yeah, it's on 2-inch tape, which I have all the tapes. You recorded it. Back to 2-inch tape, and then you mix that down to 1/2-inch tape into two channels, and you send that to the studio. And by the time we made Raygun, Naked Raygun, they were recorded on DAT, which is a tiny little cassette and digital audio.
Not quite the same. Hey, yeah, I love those reel to reels. I actually have one, but it's I don't really know how to use it too well, and it's kind of something's wrong with it. But I think they're super cool, and I've always dreamed of recording on one or that. And I always that the mix of Jettison, it would always like. Have you ever thought about trying a remix of an old album like that?
Yeah, we could do it. We have the tape, but the weird thing is, Albini's studio is all non-digital. He doesn't have any digital stuff in his studio. It's all analog still. He has all the tape and everything.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's the only studio like that in existence, I think. It's the only studio like in the whole world now. I think that's why Led Zeppelin recorded there, because they could appreciate the tape quality. You know, they're used to that after recording on tape for so many years, and they like going back to it. You know. Yeah,
like it's such an authentic sound too. And like, is Albini? So is he still based in Chicago?
Yeah, he's still on Belmont in the same building. Yeah, Belmont Avenue. Used to all industrial buildings around him, but all like his building. Now it's all residential. It's all these expensive houses and stuff. But it's weird. He's the only one left in the neighborhood, but he used to be one of many. You know.
Yeah. And it's actually something just came to mind like that. It makes me think of how everything's kind of really connected, like especially in the music world, like how, you know, he recorded Nirvana, yet you played bass for Big Black a bit, and he recorded you with The Bomb, but also Dave Grohl being in Nirvana, and then Dave Grohl going to the Cubbyhole. You know, he always brings up Naked Raygun, and he did that big shout out for you, and you guys opened for the Foo Fighters. Like, I mean, do you ever talk to Dave Grohl, or he's just a big fan of the band, and he was inspired when he saw you guys, right? That's what I hear.
Yeah, I guess he was 9 years old or something, and he said the lead singer was all over my head, and I think we were playing at Cubby Bear at the time, Cubby Bear Lounge, which is really a sports bar, but they have this great back room where they do anything you want. And the owner name was George. He still owns it. This Greek guy named George. He really loved this, and he let us play there anytime we wanted to. But I guess we played there, and Dave Grohl's cousin brought him there. They were in a band called Verboten at the time, and they're a really young band. They were like early teens maybe, and they played around quite a bit. But I only saw them twice, I think.
How old were you when, like, around that time, like when Raygun started out? Like, I mean, Dave Grohl was, I mean, obviously he was like a kid.
I was probably 20 by then, 20 years old, 21 maybe. I'm about 10 or 11 years older than him then.
Cool, yeah. And it's crazy because, when I heard him talk about you guys, it was like, well, yeah, obviously he's I respect Dave Grohl, and I think that's cool that he still gives you guys the props that you deserve for, like, you know, inspiring his, being in Nirvana and then Foo Fighters, obviously. But that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, I think you guys should do something else with him sometime too, because that's really cool. That's huge. Yeah,
it's really funny. He talks about Naked Raygun in front of every show he played that I ever heard, and it's really nice of him to do that. He only can help us, you know, and he let us warm up for him in Indianapolis too, the day before the Wrigley Field show.
That's so cool, man. Like, when this COVID thing ends, like, I hope some world tour happens or something, eh? And like, who knows what? I mean, if it goes back to normal soon enough and we can have shows, no problem. Like, it's just gonna explode, you know. Like, people are gonna be more stoked, and you know, as long as everyone can be healthy and this whole pandemic and whatever's going on in this world actually passes, you know.
And we're gonna get this podcast online, and who knows, might be some new fans out there, like me, relatively new fans. So that's the beauty of the modern world and spreading it online.
When is the new album coming out?
I think it's coming out early June. But before that, they're going to have two 12 inches out. They're going to have two 12 inches out, 12 inches with Living in the Good Times on one side and a live song on the backside maybe. And then they're going to have a song that Paul Barker remixed. Are you familiar with Paul Barker?
Who's Paul Barker?
He's a big industrial music guy, but he's kind of been made famous of his remixes. He really fucks up the song bad. Like he like twists it around and puts like all drums in the beginning and then brings in the guitars later and makes it all sound really sick sounding. And he makes the vocals really evil sounding somehow. And he mixed it. I heard it mixed. It's really hot. It sounds good. It's totally different, but it's like evil sounding sort of. And people will buy the record just for that, just for him doing it, you know. So that's going to be on a 12-inch all by itself.
So he took a part in your album, in the new Raygun album.
Well, they gave him the album after the fact, you know, after it was done. He's going to remix it. Remixes a hot, you know, like guys who remix songs, like guys who remix songs only. Yeah, so that's kind of neat. It's really a different take on the band, you know. It's really very different.
I just had a couple of random curious things. I mean, this whole thing will be edited, but I was always wondering the history behind the song Hammerhead, because it's kind of like a dialogue, and it sounds like you're in like a bar or something, and this guy's like getting aggressive or something with like someone's going after his girlfriend. Maybe that's the thing I see in my head. I love that song. It's crazy how it's like it's the dialogue and blah 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 blah, you know, and then it erupts into this big like whoa, and then it's like the drum roll, and then it just erupts, right? Like, I mean, it's such a unique punk rock song, but I love it. And I was just wondering, like, how did you even write that song?
Pierre wrote that song. That song here, he likes to write really different songs. You know, he's a very different kind of guy. He writes really odd songs. He wrote this song on a new album called the nickname of it is Robert Mitchum. He called it the Robert Mitchum song, which is funny. Robert Mitchum is such a big personality on the screen, you know. And look up some of his movies sometimes, really over the top, you know. He's like the super macho dude. But the song is called Soul Hole Baby.
Oh, okay.
And it's totally different. It's a really different kind of song. It's kind of like not very Naked Raygun-ish at all, but it's in the way it is. I don't know. You should listen to that when it comes out. It's really totally different kind of song.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And, I'm really stoked to hear the whole album in its entirety. There's 12 tracks on it, right?
11, yeah.
Oh, 11. Okay.
11 and a bunch of noise.
So is there stuff in between songs, like transitions or anything, or?
Yeah, there's a noise transition. There's a bunch of noise at the beginning and a really bunch of noise at the end. There's like 5 minutes of noise at the end, and then in between a couple of songs, there's some noise too.
Like what kind of noise is it? Like a theme or dialogue at all, or?
It's a song I wrote. It's not in 4/4. It's in like 7/8 or something like that. Something here. It doesn't you can't dance to it, you know? But it's really very noisy, and it's just repeats this one riff over and over and over, and it's kind of cool. Kind of gets. It's a song that's played in the. It's a background song that's played in the Wax Tracks. The Wax Tracks thing I gave you. Sent you the Wax Tracks teaser.
Oh right, yeah, like the video.
Yeah,
promo.
Listen to the song in the background. That's
that's the one. Okay, yeah, that was pretty heavy too. It had that vibe of I want to say Peacemaker maybe. Like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, it's really
on the verge of being metal, but it's not. It's just kind of an entity of its own or genre of its own.
Right. Yeah. It's like a mood song or something.
And I remember I'm still going off about some songs on Jettison here, I know, but I remember you telling me before how you guys don't like the song Ghetto Mechanic.
Well, the guys who are left over Naked Raygun don't like it because we just think it's sort of cheesy. It sounds like a cheesy, maybe Rolling Stones song or something.
Oh, okay. I actually love that song for some reason. It's unique, but I like it. It's a weird riff, like it's a weird chord progression. But
I tend to like it more as time goes on too.
Strip you down for parts, mega amp jump start. But when you call on me, best be ready to pay my fee. You've only got one chance to ride by me. It's always drive, drive, drive. Gotta move to survive. That's the law of the ghetto. Know when to stay and when to go. But when you call on me, you best be ready to pay my fee. You've only got one chance to ride by me. It's me, oh. It's me, oh. So don't even try to do something to make me feel. Well, I'm the ghetto mechanic. There's no need for panic. I drink more liquor for kicks. There ain't no problem I can't fix. But when you call on me, you best be ready to pay my fee. You've only got one chance to ride by me. It's me, oh. It's me, oh. Don't even try to do something to make me feel.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of really not worth being on a record type of song, but I've come to like it.
I think it's a cool like outer song, and then also Free Nation. I feel like that's maybe an underrated song. Like that's a pretty cool song. What was that one kind of about? The lyrics are pretty cool.
Pierre wrote that song too. It's just about living in a free nation. Simple as that. Simple as that. Keep it simple.
We're breeding some really belligerent times. Most of us don't have a clue what's going on. I can't believe we live with this mutation. We must be just a step out of the nation. Cremation.
have to bring up Soldier's Requiem too before this all ends, because you were saying also at one point that you guys kind of stopped playing Soldier's Requiem live, which is of course one of your most popular songs. It's been in many skate videos throughout the years, and just it's really catchy, and it's such a crowd pleaser. Yeah,
I think it is the most popular Naked Raygun song. It gets the most airplay. It gets the most hits and everything. I see the sheets that come in, my royalty sheets, and it gets hit the most. John Haggerty wrote that all by himself.
Okay, yeah, and so John
Every note.
Yeah, and it's got the music is so unique, I think, too, because it's so catchy and whoa, like sing along, and then it goes into these dark musical interludes between the verses.
The lyrics to that are, I think, are taken from a poem. I don't think he wrote the lyrics to it. I don't think the original. I think he's taken from a poem. Type them into Google, see if they come up somewhere.
It seems, yeah, totally. I'll look it up. It feels like it's almost like a traditional poem of some sort, or
it is.
Yeah,
it is. I think he borrowed the lyrics from some writer that wrote a poem to that effect. And it is. I don't think John could have thought of that himself.
Something like
Are you still in touch with John Haggerty?
Once in a while. When they put out that, when we did a video, somebody put out a movie called The Rise and Fall of Gator. This guy, Kid Gutowski, who killed this girl and buried her in the desert behind his house, and he's in jail now forever. And they wanted to use one of our songs on the movie. They used I can't remember, one of John and I wrote together. Maybe they wrote together. We wrote together. I wrote the lyrics. He wrote this music to I don't know. I wrote the lyrics to I don't know. He wrote the music to I don't know. And they wanted to put it on the movie, so we had to get together and sign something together. So that's last time I talked to him.
Yeah, so you guys are all good. There's no big rivalry between Naked Raygun and Pegboy, right?
Well, they say there is, but there's really not.
You guys are both kind of intertwined, pretty much. Pierre being in both bands, and then John Haggerty. But also, I saw a video online that they played Soldier's Requiem live too before. But I don't even know what else to say about that. But I mean, you guys must go way back, right? And the two primary underground punk rock bands of the Chicago scene. But I mean, Naked Raygun being one of the originals, and I saw the movie. It's on YouTube. You Weren't There, the history of Chicago punk rock. Yeah, that's cool.
But a lot of people like both bands. A lot of people go to see both shows.
Do you guys ever play shows together?
No, they'll never play with us.
Is it because
They don't play with us.
Is it because of the intertwining kind of thing, or?
I think John was pissed off that Pierre played in both bands, and then when we put Naked Raygun back together, he wasn't asked to play in it. I'm not really sure. I don't really care. It's all a little beyond me, but I don't have any. I don't hold any grudges against them. I like their band. I think they have some really good songs. I like Larry a lot.
Cool.
We don't play Soldier's Requiem. We don't play Soldier's Requiem now because I probably can't sing it. But we didn't play it before because John wrote it. Yeah. I got one of my sons I put in the movie Tag. Got a lot of famous people in that. John Hall's in that, and the guy from a bunch of good comedians in that movie. But I used my song. What's the song called? Can't remember.
That's all good. So I'd like to personally thank you, Jeff, for taking the time to do this podcast. It's been great talking with you, and I know we've been trying to do this for months, and we had big time technical difficulties last time when we tried to do it through Zoom and whatnot, but now we're doing it the old school way, and it's pretty sweet. And I'm really stoked to hear the new Naked Raygun album coming out this year. So if everyone out there who's listening, obviously if you're listening to this, you're going to want to hear the new album. So I hope it all goes awesome, and I hope to hopefully maybe come down to your area sometime and do that cool creative punk rock stuff. So.
Yeah, let's do it. Get your ass down here. Let's do it. After this COVID thing is over, get down here. We'll hang out.
Hell yeah.
And it's been great chatting with you, Jeff. And your music's fantastic. I really admire your longevity and integrity. So thanks so much for your time.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
I guess we're going to end it on here. This is Treason by Naked Raygun. Check it out off the album Understand.